guys? So I was trying to get the truck out, and those massive 405 tires always go flat. Like literally 2 or 3 days, completely gone. Air's completely gone. The tires are massive in the back. They're 405 30s, I think, on like 24s. Huge tires, right? Huge wheels. And for whatever reason, I don't know if it's the way that it stretches, because it's got like a little bit of stretch fitment. I don't know if it's the stretch that causes them to lose air over a few days, but those things lose air rapidly and they require like 60 psi to refill, and it's taking forever. So I'm trying to get that situated right now, and then I'll get the truck out. You could hear it leaking.
You can?
Yeah. I don't know if that's the only spot, but I think it's either the wheels bent or the stretch. So today has been a little bit interesting. Watch out, man. I was originally trying to get Django out and record that because I know I'd been mentioning it to you guys for a bit. But obviously trying to get the truck started, and then helping my dad with the 57, trying to get that thing going. Obviously doing a motor swap on that and doing EFI, having to rewire all the electronics. So I was helping him out with that. It's pretty close. Well, right as I'm about to take Django out, my mom calls and says that some family members are coming in to check out the cars. So I ended up running over and grabbing Eleanor, going back to the house, coming back. Starts to rain, and now I hope it stays away because it's looking like it's gonna open up here in a second. So what's up, guys? I'm gonna briefly interrupt the video to announce that I redesigned the logo for the page. If you didn't already notice by the intro, now you notice, or at least you'll pay attention to it. I just kind of wasn't feeling the one I had, and yeah, if you see a different logo, that's why. Also, I have some shirts designed for Django. I'm pretty excited about that. My dad and I was talking about having shirts done, not even for YouTube, but just for like even going to car shows and stuff. We thought it'd be cool to just rep some merch there. So now I'll be able to do that, and I'll also be able to sell them if anybody's interested in one. Hopefully you guys like them. I think they're pretty cool. I want to definitely do some more of these in the future. I have some cool stuff coming for the Lightning, as you see in the video coming up soon. I also shaved my head to raise money for coronavirus relief, in case you're wondering why I look different. So yeah, hope you guys are doing good, staying safe. Enjoy the video. Sunglasses. Anyways, we're in Django, and this thing is gnarly. I don't know how well you'll be able to hear me because this truck's loud, and it's very loud in here. So, as you can tell, it seems like we're driving a dump truck. What's up, guys? Finally was able to get the truck out. I know I've teased you guys a little bit in the last few videos. Finally get to see it. This is Django. So there's obviously so much that has been done to this truck. This truck is by far one of the most radical builds that we've ever had in the shop collection and probably will ever have. I don't know how many of you guys would recognize what's been done to it if you just look at it compared to what it used to look like, but I'm just gonna go through a list here of basically what makes this truck so special. And if you couldn't tell by now, it's a 1962 Unibody Ford F100. There's so much done to this truck, I don't even know where to begin. So I guess a little bit of a backstory. The truck's called Django. A lot of times, especially with builds that go to SEMA, a lot of times they have a theme, and the theme for this truck was Western Outlaw, was basically what they were going for. It's so radical, man. Like it has so much character, it looks ridiculous. So this used to be an old ranch truck, and the guys over at Weaver Customs knew the direction they wanted to go when they were looking at the back, and they found 2 bullet holes in the back of the cab. And the funny thing is, like when you look at it from the bedside, they fixed it, smoothed it over, but if you were to peel back the leather and the interior, you would still see those 2 bullet holes because they decided to leave it there just kind of as like the story and the nostalgia of the truck. So they dubbed the truck Django based off of that, and they kind of ran with the Western Outlaw type of theme. Again, so much done to it. I'll start off with the engine. I'm gonna have to read the list here because there's so much done to it. So the engine is a 1996 5.9 liter Cummins diesel. The block was deburred and machined, has a common rail camshaft, ported and polished head, custom valves, custom radiator, Spall cooling fans, hand-fabbed intake manifold and stainless air intake, 13mm P-series pump, a compound turbo supercharger setup which pushes about 100 psi, stead speed exhaust manifold, custom 4 and 5-inch exhaust with Flowmaster mufflers. It pushes out about 1,000 rear wheel horsepower, not at the crank, to the wheels. Ridiculous. The rear tires are 405s, right? So meats, and so they're so wide they had to custom make the back half of the suspension just to accommodate the tire width. It's ridiculous. They're Pirellis, and as you saw earlier, they always go flat because the stretch fitment that's on there. I actually aired up the left rear and I could hear it seeping through in some of the spots on the rim, so we're gonna have to look into that, figure out what's going on. It's obviously not gonna be a daily driver with this setup. And if anybody has any suggestions, drop a comment below for sure. But they're 20 inches up front and 24 in the rear, and they're Bose wheels. The tires up front are 245 35 20 and 405 25 24 in the rear, and they're up front and rear, they're both Pirellis. My dad's trying to start up the 57 still. He's still having trouble with that. I think he's close. Anyways, if you hear that noise in the background, that's what's going on. So it's kind of crazy. The front suspension is actually from a Crown Vic, which is ridiculous if you think about how stupid that sounds, but it is what it is. Willwood 14-inch brakes and master cylinder, and that's Willwood's front and rear. 6 pistons up front, 4 piston in the rear, and the rotors are drilled and slotted up front and back. It's got a 1-piece headliner. Again, all the leather's matching, and it feels really nice. It smells really good. It kind of reminds me of the old King Ranch trucks. It's obviously a little bit darker, but it has that same feel and that same vibe of kind of what they were doing too. What's also cool about the truck too is that it's got a full kicker audio system, hidden subwoofers back here. I don't know how well you'll be able to see them, but I'll definitely show them to you here in a bit. So they're hidden away back there, little pancakes. We also have some next to the gun in the center. I know it sounds weird me saying, but there's also some there. It's a full. I've never heard it on, to be honest with you. I don't really care to listen to music while I cruise around in these things, just because I love hearing the motor and the road, and just, you know, the allure of basically what makes a classic, especially in this situation. I'm curious to see how loud the stereo is, because the engine is ridiculously loud, and it'd be curious to see how well that drowns out. The interior was fully done by JS Custom Interiors in Salt Lake. If you're familiar with Kindig Design, you know that that's who they use too. He's kind of in-house next to them. It has a lot of character, man. I'm super pumped about it. Not everybody loves it because it's so radical, and if you're into this type of stuff, you have to appreciate it. But again, multiple award winner, I think it was on the cover of like 14 magazines. I have a list of them. I have to go and see if I can order those and frame them, but that's pretty much the story of it. I'm gonna try to get a couple rollers and a couple easy shots, but like I said, I can't really drive it too much because of the rear end, and I have to just baby it right now. So as cops are going by me in the distance, kind of fitting that we're talking about Django the Outlaw. Again, part of the crazy story of what this truck was from day one, when the Weaver guys saw the bullet holes in the rear of the cab, to the name that they put on the side of the truck, to how we were able to acquire this in an FBI raid. Again, completely fits the story of it. It has so much character, not only the look of it, but just the story of how it happened. So again, super pumped about it. So the grill was custom fabbed and it's solid. You can see all of this really makes it modern. It really modernizes it and makes it look aggressive. The front fenders were widened 1.5 inches from stock, and if you look at it here, they're actually moved up 1.5 inches as well. Again, you're not going to notice these things unless you're like an expert in F100s, or if you saw a stock one next to it. They also added these saddle straps in to keep the hood down. They work okay. They're not the best. There's some PPF there that you're wondering what that is, but I'm actually not a huge fan of these because the hood's so heavy that it starts to bounce. Another thing that I like about the truck that you don't really notice is that there's a lot of semi-gloss accents. So it's the same color as the truck, but like you can see the difference there between the gloss of the exalted paint here and it's satin here, as well as the fender and the grille. The bed's also the same way. There's a couple areas on the truck that are like that, and it's just to highlight, in a weird way, it's to highlight what they did to it by dulling the finish, which is kind of cool. It was chopped 1.5 inches, slanted back 1.5 inches. The drip rails were also removed and smooth. Like I said, that's pretty common on most builds these days, so I'm glad they did that. This is again like 2014, 2015, so now you see it pretty much on every custom build these days. But shaved door handles, suicides, I already showed you that. The switch is down here on both sides. So the roof line was actually brought out and extended by 1/2 inch, so that's cool too. So the bed, here's where the bullet holes used to be, and they're currently not in there, but the bed's also completely smooth. You can see the tubs there, and again, it's solid, and it's in that satin finish. The belt line on the side was also smoothened out, and it looks really great. You've obviously probably noticed the dual exhaust exits, and those are really nice, nicely Frenched there. So like I said earlier, this is a 1996 5.9 liter Cummins with massive snails in there. All the exhaust has the wrapping on it all the way into the truck, so it's insane, guys, how massive this thing looks in here. And it really, in my opinion, makes the truck what it is the fact that when you fire it up, it sounds like a dump truck, and it's as small as it is. I mean, the bed was actually shortened from again an original one, so the proportions of it just looks different. It doesn't look like a stock truck from certain angles, but like I said, if you know what one of these is supposed to look like, a lot of the body lines are the same. It's just enhanced and honestly accentuated. Like that is a factory line, but it's widened and it's flared, and it really makes it pop. So another feature that I love about this truck, that is one of the coolest things in my opinion, is the Django badging. If you see that there, they have it's got like the old gun engraving with the name Django. It also has these saddle grips, and this was actually made by an actual saddle fabricator, so that's pretty cool. Those are like super authentic. And this gun really fits the build. Again, custom fabricated holder, just super cool. Again, everybody loves that. When you get on the interior, that's obviously the centerpiece, and so it's very cool. I swear you could look at this truck all day long, and as wild and ridiculous and flamboyant as it is, it's still really subtle. I know it's hard to believe and hard to understand that concept, but like I said, there's things done to it that you don't really notice at first unless you know what to look for. And so in that aspect, It's really, really subtle. And there's, like I said, there's things that just blend right in and they fit. So for as wild of a truck as this is, it's still really tastefully done in my opinion. The character that this truck has, you could literally rip the bumper off going through a ditch and it would still look really cool because it just fits that aggressive, just brute attitude that it has. Django. Can't get better than that. So guys, thanks for watching. I love that truck. It is ridiculous. Hopefully you guys agree. If not, it's completely fine too. I do ask that you like this video, drop a comment, please subscribe. I'm trying to grow this channel and I can't do that without you guys. So I got a lot of cool stuff coming like that. That's probably going to be another cool series coming up here soon when I get parts in. So glad you guys are watching this video. I'm out of breath. My hair's a mess. Stay safe with this corona. I'm gonna go finish helping with the 57. So thanks for watching, guys. Until next time. Look who showed up. What's up, man? What are you doing? He was checking out Django. He hadn't seen Django yet.
No.
What are you driving? What is this? Fuzzy dice? Really?
Oh, sorry.
He's got fuzzy dice in there?
That's OG. It's from Disney.
Disney fuzzy dice. Yeah, okay, great.
OG stuff.
Awesome.